Hello everyone and welcome to the next in our series of daily origami for YouTube. Today we're going to continue with our theme of looking at some traditional origami, and today we're going to make a Japanese lady. So this is a traditional Japanese origami, and for this project you do need scissors. It's one that actually uses scissors quite a bit, so you're going to need to have that. And you want to have a square piece of paper. I'm just going to be using paper that's 15 centimeters by 15 centimeters. And I'll show you guys all the steps as we go through things. This is a traditional project, so it is true that they used to use scissors back in the day, or knives, or whatever they might have had on hand. What we're going to do is start here with our color side facing down. I'm just going to fold my paper in half into a big diagonal crease here so we get this nice big triangle shape. Open it up, and then I'm going to take the top outer edge and fold it into the center. Kind of start it up there at the top, smooth out the edge, and then do the same thing for the other side as well. So you get this nice cool kite shape here. Now the next thing that I want to do is I'm going to take what I've got here and fold it down, and actually you don't want to quite fold it all the way down to this bottom part. Ideally what we want to do is fold down a third of the way. And you can kind of guesstimate where that is by just gently folding this down and then folding this up and kind of seeing if they would kind of line up together or not. I think if you kind of give yourself a little room here, you can kind of see where that might be. It doesn't have to be exact, but we're just going to give yourself about maybe a centimeter down there from where you're going to fold down. Make the crease and then just go ahead and open it up, and then I'm going to take this part and fold it back. Now the distance I want to fold it back is a third of this red edge that you see here, and if you want, what you could do is just kind of curl this around for a second and make an S shape and try to get it so that you get equal parts for all three parts here, and then kind of just smoosh it down to give yourself a little pinch. And this top pinch is the one we're going to use as a guide. I'm going to fold back from that. And this is just really a guideline just so you get a nice balanced shape. But you don't have to take this part too seriously. We're going to fold a little of that back though, so you get something like this. I'll go ahead and turn it over so we can see it from the other side. What I want to do now is you can see right where this flap lays against that crease that I made back there behind everything. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut a little notch into each of these sides. So you can kind of come at it from an angle, just kind of cut down to where that crease is in behind everything. Do a little one in the front too. And I'm just going to do this for both sides here. So that we can get a little bit of those little notches cut on either side. Then I'm going to go ahead and kind of open things up for a second, fold everything in half, and I still have this crease that runs right here. I want to go ahead and kind of looking at what I've got up here too, I'm just going to cut on the edge through all the layers. You want to make sure you cut far enough that you're going farther than this little edge is here. Go ahead and open everything up. And then we're just going to take and tuck this tip into that little creased area we've made here. So just slide that in. It should go in there nice and hide away the way it should. Then I'm going to go ahead and make another set of cuts. And this time I'm going to go ahead and cut from down here all the way up to that creased edge. And sometimes this can be a little tricky because you don't want to accidentally, get this weird edge because of the way you're cutting things. So you can kind of open things up if it helps. It's a little easy to accidentally get a little bit of an edge on it, but it's not too big of a deal if you do. We'll do this for both sides when we cut up there. After getting both of those sides cut on either side, I'm going to take the top section and fold down. And when I do, I want to kind of open up these areas here, let this part stick up from underneath. So I get a nice little section there for the head. Now that I've got that head part sticking out, I'm just going to kind of open things up for a second and take this top layer and go ahead and cut along that crease that you see here. And we're just going to cut until we're almost close to the other crease we made. The other cut, excuse me. You want to make sure you don't cut too far because then you will basically remove that whole section. You just want to cut in a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and take this part here and fold so that the edge goes towards the center. You can crease here. Do the same thing on this side. Don't worry too much if you can't quite meet over there at the top. We don't want to go cut so far that this whole part comes off, so you might not quite have an even part at the top there. That's okay, because we're just going to bring this back down again. So you get this nice, cool little design here for the clothes. Then I'm going to keep everything nice and flat. We'll take this whole layer here and fold it snug over. And you want to try to bring it so that you're bringing it nice and close to the edge. And if you want to kind of showcase some of this white, you can come in a little shy of everything here and give yourself a little bit of an edge. And this will give a little bit of stuff sticking out here on the side. It's sort of up to you of how you want to design things, but if you want to give yourself a little bit of that edge by doing this, you can go ahead and just fold in and give yourself a little tiny bit that sticks out on the side there. Then we're going to go ahead and take everything here and fold just a little bit of this part back so that it's even with those two white points there. So just fold up and back from that. And you just kind of make sure everything's going straight by looking at it from behind and make sure that that center crease lines up good. And then I'm just going to smooth out the edge of this part here by just tucking a little of this underneath. And again, this is something you can kind of just play by ear of what looks the best for what you're working with. But we do want to just create a little bit of a crease here to let that part come up. You want to try to have each of them come to the same point if you can. Then take the top part here and fold it down so that that tip just gets tucked underneath here so that we don't have to see any of that. And that kind of gives you the finished head to your woman. And that's kind of the completed piece there. So let me tell you guys how big this is. This is about 11.5 and at the widest point about 7. And this is like a really cute kind of thing if you're doing something for Hina Matsuri. You can use that, these dimensions then of course to help you with that. But that's like the widest point is 7 centimeters. And that should give you our completed little Japanese lady kind of wearing a kimono, which is our finished project for today. Thank you so much for watching and we'll see you next time.